Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. I'm Ramona Remisat, intuitive guidance coach and angel therapy practitioner, helping you to get clear, accurate, and reliable inner guidance so you can make strong, confident decisions with ease and take fearless action in your life or your business. Welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. We are one day away from Valentine's Day. And if you haven't had a chance yet to go scroll through this page, do so. Not yet, not yet. After. Take a moment after this is done to scroll down. You're going to see a Valentine's Day gift that I have for you. So whether you are in a relationship or you aren't in a relationship and you want to be, there's something there for you. So I hope you'll take a peek at that later and take advantage of that. That's all I'm going to say about that. So today's topic is stop chasing, start choosing. And I got this huge aha download. I have 4 pages of notes here. So I will maybe be going to my notes because I want to stay on task today. I want to share this information because it's really juicy and I don't want to go off topic. So if you see me glancing down, it's just because I want to stay on topic. And it really was inspired by one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I'm sure you probably know his work. He's written numerous books. He's traveled around the world. He taught, he did workshops. He was an amazing man. We were very sad when he passed away a couple of years ago, but his work still lives on. And one of the quotes that he has that I absolutely love is, and I want to read it so I don't screw it up, is "You are the sum total of your choices." And I want you to think about that for a moment. You are the sum total of your choices, right? Think about that. If you're a person who gets up every morning at the crack of dawn and you go for a run, your life is going to look a certain way. If you're the type of person that retires to the couch every evening at 7 o'clock with a bag of potato chips, your life is going to look a certain way, right? And both of those scenarios, that picture is a reflection of the sum of your choices, right? Does that make sense? You can type yes or I get it, or give me a thumbs up. Let me know if that's making sense to you. But the cool thing with choice is when we recognize that we have a choice, it's very liberating, right? Think about this. Even a prisoner who's in a cell has a choice about how they view their circumstances, right? They can totally choose how they see that. But here's the problem. Too many people aren't choosing. In fact, they're letting their habits and their patterns do their choosing for them, right? In fact, they're running on autopilot, right? They're just kind of mindlessly going through the motions, running on autopilot. And maybe you've experienced this. If you already know that maybe this is something that's cropping up for you, feel free to let me know in the comments, type yes, or like I said, send me a thumbs up. But think about that for a moment. Do you think that people who have optimal health, are amazingly healthy, or they have financial abundance, or they're in loving, connected relationships, or they're in their dream careers or businesses, do you think they got there by running on autopilot? Or do you think they had to make some conscious choices, right? Right. So the people who get it are those people, the ones who have it going on are the ones who are choosing rather than chasing or rather than just kind of going into autopilot, right? And the ones who really get it are the ones who make their choices and decisions based on consulting what? Their inner guidance, right? They're checking in with that when they're making their choices and their decisions. So I love to teach by stories and by examples. So I have a couple of stories and examples to give you guys. So this is a literal example of what can happen when you fly on autopilot, okay? So this is a true story. Years ago when I was back in corporate, yes, I actually worked in a real job. I was working for Canadian Airlines and I worked in their marketing department for their frequent flyer program, and I would have frequent meetings in Vancouver, which meant I would get up really early in the morning, and I would fly from Calgary to Vancouver for my business meetings. And because I was new to the company, hi Rosalie, nice to have you here. So awesome. Feel free, by the way, to let me know who else is watching and where you're watching from. So I would get up, I would go to the airport, and I was new to the company. I didn't really have seniority. I'd never been in an airline before. And so as the flight was filling up, and we traveled mostly by standby, I was freaking out because it was looking like I wasn't going to make my flight. So finally, the gate agent approached me and said, okay, we can get you on the flight, but you have to sit in the jump seat. So here I am, literally wedged between the two pilots and this little flip down seat with this big 5-point harness strapped around me. And the safety talk that I got from the pilots was, if there's an emergency and we need to evacuate, we're either going through the windshield or we're coming out over top of you. And you follow suit. And I'm like, aye, aye, Captain. Right? And they said, no non-essential conversation below 10,000 feet. So I don't know what that means. So I'm just zip it, right? I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, we take off, we get up in the air. It's this beautiful sunny day. We are flying over the Rocky Mountains. It's pristine. It's amazing. Once we get into the air and we level off, the two pilots stop looking forward and they turn around like this and they start chatting to me. And I'm like, like, shouldn't you be, driving this plane kind of thing, right? And then I realized, oh, they've set it to autopilot. So they're not even looking out the window. We're having a final conversation till suddenly these alarms start blaring and this robotic voice comes on louder than heck saying, traffic, traffic, traffic. And all of a sudden they turn around, they put their headsets back on and they're communicating with the tower, and they had to descend because there was other aircraft in the area. And so in order to avoid a mid-air collision, they needed to make some course corrections. They needed to listen to that guidance that was coming through from the tower, descend so many thousand feet, and continue on, right? But if they had not adhered to that guidance and just kept going on autopilot, that would have created a disaster, right? And so that's kind of what we're doing in our life, right? We're on autopilot. And, we're not really thinking about making some slight changes. Now, here's a different example. So imagine, let's take the example of somebody who's a woman in her 40s and she can't seem to lose weight and just feels tired and sluggish and doesn't like how she's looking in the mirror, right? So she feels like maybe she's battling hormones and just destined to put on weight because that's what happens as you age. That's her belief, right? So one day a Facebook ad pops up and it's inviting her to a webinar that's going to talk about, some tips that you can use to look and feel your best at any age. So in that moment, that woman has a choice, right? She can choose, maybe I'll tune in and I might learn a few tricks about how to work with rather than against my metabolism. Or she's going to get into her mind stories and her patterns and just be like, well, why bother? I've tried everything, nothing works. And that's just, again, how it is. I'm just, going to have to deal with this because as I age, I'm just going to put on weight around my middle and feel tired and sluggish. And that's that, right? And that's, her choice, right? That's a choice that she could make. But as you can see, she was guided to tune into the webinar and, maybe choosing to follow it, maybe not, right? So can you see how you might be doing some of this, running on autopilot in different areas of your life? And I have a homework assignment for you today. Your homework assignment is to kind of do like a little quick mental check-in with all the areas of your life. So that includes your health, your career, your finances, your relationships, your family, what you do for fun or the kind of lifestyle you want to live. And just check in. Do you see any patterns? Do you see habits? Are they healthy? Are they unhealthy? Are they serving you? Are they not serving you? What needs to change or heal? And what's one step that you can take today to move you in that direction? Okay, I want you to think about that. And after, I really invite you to post here because I want us to all support one another with this. This is a non-judgment zone, right? You can post here and we all have habits and patterns. It's not anything to be ashamed of, but awareness is the key if you want to start to shift some of those things. I mean, going back, right? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? You're running on autopilot. You're going to do the same thing over and over. There's not going to be a change. So if there's something in your life you don't like, you need to take a step to change that, right? So as I said, post in the comments so we can all support one another. And anybody have any comments before I go further? I just want to check in. Is this making sense? Is this making you think in a new way? Like, did any light bulbs go off for anybody? Have you kind of went, oh yeah, I kind of do that in this certain area of my life, right? You know, a lot of us have money habits and patterns. So that might be a spot for you to start with, right? To really think about, what are the thoughts and beliefs that I am habitually telling myself about money? Is it that there's never enough, that it's hard to make money, that it's a struggle, that there's a limited amount, that I have to get mine before it's gone, and all this kind of stuff? Like, what are your money stories or your money beliefs? You know, maybe you want to start there, and that's important because if you don't have a healthy relationship with your cash, it is going to impact your life big time, especially if you're a business owner. Big time. So Rosalie doesn't have any new light bulbs, but yes, money issues. See, we all have them because we all grew up hearing stuff from our parents and other adults about money, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, you know, money, it's not spiritual to ask for money, and money's dirty, and oh my God, it goes on and on and on, right? So that became our belief. Really, it's not ours. It was implanted in us. We heard it from somebody else and we just took it as truth, and we grew into adulthood and we're like, oh, you know, and what do we find? We catch ourselves saying the same damn thing to our kids if we're not careful, right? So we don't want to inherit those money stories that don't serve us or money stories that aren't healthy. We want to first recognize them and then shift out of that and move on to things that are healthier. Like I said, what could be healed? What needs to shift or change? What can you let go of? You can say, thank you, money story, but that's not really helping me, bye-bye. Right? And let that go. And if you're struggling in that realm, because a lot of us, it's hard to kind of dig up this stuff on your own. You know what I mean? Like doing that deeper work. So find somebody that can help you. Remember, the big message this year is ask for help, right? That's what the angels are pounding into us this year. So if this, you know, is an area that you get hung up on and you definitely have some hangups around money, find somebody who can help you, either a money coach or, you know, whatever. Maybe you go to a workshop or something. Start the process. Reach out to me if you must, because I can also help you with that. But do something. Take a step. Like I said, what's one action step that you can take today that's going to start you on that path to making some changes and not being on autopilot, right? So, and if, you know, if really you're ready at that point, you want to be able to, you know, tune into that guidance, right? Follow it. Like I said, the people who have it going on are the ones who are making their choices and their decisions based on checking in with their inner guidance, not what everybody else is telling them and all the noise and everything. They're checking in first to not run on autopilot. They're always in tune with their guidance. If that's something you really want to be able to do so that you can make those strong, confident decisions and take action in your life without fear and worry and anxiety and all that stuff that comes up, because you always want to know, am I doing the right thing? If you don't want to have that struggle, the answer to that is to hone your intuitive muscle. What I mean by that is knowing how to access your inner guidance, knowing how to decipher it when it comes through, and knowing how to trust it so that you take action on it. Because if you don't take action, you can't get there, right? So if you really want to know those three things and to be able to get there, then I have an invitation. I really would love for you to come with me, join me this June 8th through the 10th in beautiful Radium Hot Springs, British Columbia. We're going to be surrounded by the mountains, and I'm going to teach you how to do those things, how to tap into that guidance, how to decipher it, how to trust it. And then you're going to walk away from this weekend with being able to have that level of trust in your guidance so you don't have to rely on everybody outside of you for answers. You're going to easily differentiate between the noise and the inspired instructions that are coming to you. Because a lot of times people like They don't know. They're like, is it guidance? Isn't it? Am I just making it up? Is it in my head? Oh my God, it's like a ping pong match. Bing, 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 right? So you'll be able to differentiate that, and you'll be able to take action on those intuitive nudges instead of talking yourself out of them. That's the worst. You don't want to do that. Don't talk yourself out of that. And you'll easily move your career and your life forward and finally feel fully supported in everything you do, as if it's like you feel like somebody's has your back at every moment, right? Isn't that a comforting feeling? We should all have that. And finally, you'll experience way more peace and, like I said, way less stress, worry, anxiety. That stuff goes away because you know you're being guided. So you don't have to worry, right? You know where that information is coming from. You're following it. Somebody's got your back, and off you go. So if that's something that, it's speaking to you as I'm saying these words, you're nodding your head, you're like, yes, 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 then definitely check out the page for the retreat. It's www.connecttothepowerwithin.com, all together, no spaces. I will post the link, but check it out. If there's a little, like I said, if those intuitive nudges are poking you, it really is your responsibility to take a step and at least check it out. And if you have any questions at all about anything that's on that page, please, please, please reach out to me. You can send me an email to ramona@ramonaremisat.com, or you can post here. You can send me a private message, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. We can even hop on the phone real quick and just have a quick chat, so I can answer it sometimes easier than the back and forth of email, etc. But I really want, if this is something you're ready to move forward with, then I really want to support you with that. And to be your answer to your ask for help on how do I really get clear, accurate, and reliable inner guidance on demand. If you want that, it's possible for you. It's absolutely possible, but there's stuff to know, obviously. So that's what Connect to the Power Within is all about. So have a look. See if it's speaking to you. And if it is, then I invite you to join us. We're going to have a great time. It's already half full, and it's going to be amazing because the energy out there is just so, so good. And there's lots of stuff. I don't want to give it all away. Go to the trip page and check it out. And also, as I said, don't forget to scroll down the page to get your Valentine's gift. So I can say happy Valentine's Day to you all. So happy Valentine's Day and happy Tuesday. Remember to do your homework today, which is look at those different areas of your life and see where you might be falling into some patterns or habits, and how can you take a step today to start to shift things for you. Okay, that's your homework. And if you want to come back and post, I would love to see your posts and to support you as you go through some of that stuff. So that's it for today, everybody. I hope I stayed on track and didn't ramble too much. But it's an important topic, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, also feel free to share this out to others so that they can start choosing and not running on autopilot and averting those midair collisions, right? So definitely share it out if you feel guided to do that. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday.